All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Fork Over the Ring, where we all know the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And today I'm going to show you guys how to make my smothered deep fried ribs. Yes, I said it. I'm taking the ribs, I'm smothering them all up in some gravy, and it's going to be thebomb.com. So, this meal actually came from a classmate. I've made fried ribs before, but I had never thought to smother them in gravy. And I'm like, we like smothered pork chops, why not? So I went ahead and I did it. So I start off with pink Himalayan sea salt, some smoked paprika, white pepper, ground mustard, which I am learning I love in every freaking thing. Some onion powder, some garlic powder, some cayenne pepper that we're about to beat out of here. See, look, shake it on up. Then you're gonna add black pepper, and some seasonal, and then some apple cider vinegar. I didn't really measure these things, but just enough to make a paste out of, because this is actually what we're going to marinate our meat in. So then we're going to go to the meat. For this part is the part I always hate when dealing with ribs. If you ever look at the back of ribs, there's like this thick film, or it's kind of thin. It's the membrane. And if you cook it, it's really hard and it's tough and it's chewy. So you have to pull off as much of it as you can. Because I do keep nails on my hand, I do always have an issue with it. Like, I had gloves on for the first time I did it, and my nails just kind of poked through the gloves. And then I always definitely need to use the nail brush after this, because who wants to have membrane juice under their nails? Nobody. But you just really peel that off as best as you can, so that you do not have no tough ass ribs, because I will talk about you and your mama and your grandmama for that. Go ahead and peel, and excuse the wristband that I have on. Because I'm marinating this overnight. I just came in one night from being out, and I just went ahead and started on it. So go ahead and peel it all down, shorty. And then after you peel like everything off, you're gonna go through. I like to score my meat, especially if I'm gonna fry, because it doesn't matter. Just make sure you don't go down to the bone. Just kind of score just a little bit, so that when you do go through and put the marinade on, that it soaks in there. So I take that and I rub it on the front and the back. And this is actually a really good recipe or idea to use for the marinade, at least. If you add a little bit of jerk seasoning, if you're going to make them baked jerked ribs, those are really good as well. So like I said, overnight, 24 hours, let that marinate. And then I go through for my flour to season it up. I use it pretty much the same exact seasonings. So I start off with my seasonal, my pink Himalayan pink sea salt, the ground mustard, literally everything that we just put into the marinade is what we're going to use the next day when it's time to get ready to fry all this up. The white pepper, the onion, the garlic, all of that. So go ahead and do that. Mix it on up, shake it like a salt shaker. Then we're going to go to our ribs and we're going to cut. So you want to find the bone and cut right along the bone. Don't cut yourself, because I'm not going to say I've done it, but I do have a scar or two. So make sure you cut right along the bone, so that you can have nice, good, healthy pieces and even pieces. Because if you try to cut like in the middle, it's not going to work well for you. And then towards the end, you get these little fattier pieces. Then you go ahead, just like you do chicken or anything else you fry. I like the Ziploc bag. You can use a grocery store bag, a paper bag, whatever you like. I like a Ziploc bag, and just throw it away when I'm done. But I go through, seal it on up, make sure there's no air in it, and I shake it real good, so that I am ensuring that I'm getting everything nice and evenly coated. Then I go on to frying them. So I fry mine in vegetable oil in a cast iron skillet. You're literally going to flip them halfway through. So I literally fry them for about 8 minutes on each side, 8 to 10 minutes, just until you really get that nice golden brown color you're looking for. And I like mine to be really crispy, because I know I'm going to go ahead and put them later on in the gravy, so I don't want them to get soggy. So I try to get mine as crispy as possible. So you go ahead and you cook that down, and as you can see, the meat is drawing away from the bone at the right hand corner. That means that meat is nice and tender, and I really did marinate it well. So Go ahead and you're gonna, like I said, fry this for about roughly 8 to 10 minutes on each side to make sure they're perfectly done and they're even. Then you're gonna go ahead and you'll pull them right on out. As you can see, those are nice and golden brown. They're really crispy like I wanted. You don't have to actually put them in gravy. I put mine in gravy because that's what I like. But you actually can just simply eat them just fried. Because I like mine fried with hot sauce, but I also like mine in gravy. Then after I take the first batch out, I go ahead and I start the second batch. You do the exact same thing. So there is nothing special there. And you just simply fry them on up. Just until they're all done. And then after that, the next thing you're going to start on is your gravy. But with this meal, I do serve it with white rice, greens, and cornbread. So those are things that you typically have cooking on the side. Like my greens cook for a few hours before I even start this process to make sure that they're nice and seasoned. But anyway, back to the gravy. So I start off in a skillet with a stick of butter. And I let that melt down. I'm going to show you guys a trick to easy gravy that you can't mess up, because somebody told me that when I showed you guys how to brown gravy, that was really hard. So I'm going to show you a trick to make it a little easier. So I start off with my stick of butter and I add a half of a white onion and 2 cloves of garlic. And I cook those down. These are probably going to cook for about a good 20 minutes. Then I go through and I just started adding flour. I probably add about 6 to maybe 5 tablespoons of flour altogether. I don't really measure these things. I just kind of do it to what I feel like it's right. That's why I always say, like, cooking like this is cooking from your heart. That's why it's called soul food, because it's from your soul. You guys kind of cook it until you feel like it's right. To this, I do add my salt and a little bit of my white pepper. And then, like I said, this cooks for about 20 minutes. What the flour does is going to thicken up. So as you can see, like, it's becoming white and milky looking. It is also thickening itself up. So you're going to let that cook, and then I add that gravy pack. What that gravy pack does is, for those of y'all who said earlier, or who told me in the past that me browning the gravy was a lot for you guys and it was too much, that kind of gives you that same flavor and result a little easier. I also add beef broth to it after I add that. And as you can see, it's a little liquidy right now, but as it cooks, it's going to thicken. So if you're looking at it now, it's going to start to thicken up, like all those bubbles you're seeing. And the way I'm able to go through and even it back out is I just kind of add more broth. So you add more broth or flour or whatever you want to add until you get the proper consistency that you want. So because I did add a lot of flour, I knew I would have to add more broth to it. Then you go through, you whisk it on up, and it's done. You have 2 options. I like to put the rib pieces in the gravy so they can soak up all that flavor. Yeah, make sure you taste it. Or you can just simply sprinkle it on top. I also add to this, like I said, the white pepper. I add some adobo, and I also add some black pepper and some parsley. And then I go ahead and add my pieces of meat to it. And then that's really it. The meal is super easy. It's super quick. Like I was saying earlier, make sure that you do it with cornbread, greens, and rice, and kind of just put them all together. And this is it, guys. Please let me know what you think about this meal. Make sure that you like this page, you subscribe, you comment below. Let me know anything you have questions about, and I will see you guys in the next video.